Ambassador Dato Dr. G.K. Ananda Kumaraseri is a career ambassador of over 30 years standing. He retired in 1995 as Director General ASEAN. Since then, he has authored several notable books on such important subjects such as the cultivation of human values, personal development, holistic education, the sacredness of motherhood, mother care, holistic parenting, child care and development, and peace. He is a much sought-after Dharma speaker in Malaysia and overseas. His recent treatise on holistic motherhood and parenting is widely used as a practical yet effective training manual for courses on social ills and crimes, such as drug abuse, AIDS, child abuse, and gender inequality. He is the president of the Human Development and Peace Foundation. Dato G.K. Ananda Kumaraseri has carved a niche for himself in espousing the concept of living by Buddhism by emphasizing the practice and practical application of the Buddha's teachings in daily life. He is available for public talks and discussions. His email is akumaraseri@yahoo.com. You may also refer to www.livingbybuddhism.com for an insight into his works and activities.
So you had a good rest, good lunch, and had some time to meet with each other, get to know each other, and exchange some views, ideas, and get support and inspiration from each other. That is good. So we come back to more serious business. We finish about how to take care of the body and to take care of your health. Because in personal self-development, not just becoming successful businessman or successful student or successful manager, successful industrialist, you must also take care of your body. If your body is not in a good condition, all the success is no use. So health is very important. Not just wealth. You must also take care of your health. So we have given some guidelines just before lunch on how to be well. And the Buddhist concept of being well is just not getting sick. It's more than just not getting sick. You must be in the right mental frame as well, so that your wellness is a complete wellness. Even if your body is not sick, sometimes you are not well. You're not well because lot of disturbance, lot of frustration, lot of tension, lot of anxiety, lot of stress. So that is very important. After taking care of your body and your wellness, we are also very interested in our happiness. Now, what is happiness? Happiness to different people is different things. Some people feel that if they become a millionaire, then they can be happy. Some people feel that if they can become the first in everything, then they are happy. Some people feel that if they have power, they have political power or military power or some kind of strength and power, then they are happy. So different people have different ideas, different expectations, different understanding of happiness. The happiness that the Buddha taught is a wonderful formula that is applicable to the whole world. It applies to the whole world. For example, if you are a millionaire, you have 10 million US dollars. You think you are happy. You want to have 100 million. I give you 100 million US dollars, you want to have 1 billion US dollars. Never happy. You have a big property, you have a lot of wealth, you want more wealth. But the world today, that is how they look. If they feel that they get more and more and more material things, they will be happy. That is what we have been taught from small. That is what the Western world has made our Eastern values completely upside down. In Eastern values, in China, in India, they didn't think in terms of wealth as happiness. They didn't think in terms of power as happiness. They had happiness in being better human beings. And the Buddha taught the best way of being happy is to be contented. You must be contented. If you're contented, you will be happy. Otherwise, you are chasing behind a shadow. You cannot catch this shadow. Enough is not enough. You want more and more and more because of your tanha, because of your craving. We all have cravings, but the Buddha said, moderation. Be contented. Be happy with what you have. If you can get more, okay. If you can't, be happy, be satisfied, be contented. So we need to develop this value in ourselves. Don't be unhappy because you didn't get absolutely what you want. But be happy with what you have. And we are very, very fortunate. We are very fortunate. First thing is we are born human beings. That already is a plus for you. There are many beings who are not human beings. They are in a terrible state, particularly the animal world, the Tirisana world, and the Pereta world, and all kinds of other worlds of woeful existence. They are in very, very great suffering. You are lucky. You have a chance to learn the Dhamma, practice the Dhamma, and then be contented and be happy. So, be very grateful that you have this opportunity and be contented like that. Always smiling. That is the symbol of contentment. Because the Buddha is contented, you always find a smiling face in the Buddha. So always remember, if you are contented, you automatically can smile. You can be cheerful. You cannot be like this grumpy, always complaining, always unhappy, unsatisfied, quarreling all the time. Cannot. Impossible. So when those who follow the Buddha's teaching, the Dhammaputtris and Dhammaputras, they also can smile. See how wonderful your smile is. And when somebody smiles, you also feel. You can feel the cheerfulness. And it is very infectious. You also smile. When you wish each other Sukhi Hotu, smile. Smile automatically. This is how we live the Dhamma. This is how we breathe the Dhamma. This is how we practice the Dhamma. Every time, daily. And we must always get the inspiration. It is there, but we must get it. We must use it so that we can benefit from it ourselves. Now we come to the important subject. Ananda, you talk success, well-being, happiness. How can we get it? When I want to cook a nice recipe, I must use nice ingredients, wonderful spices, so that the dish becomes tasty. Similarly, when you want to have success, when you want to have wellness or well-being, and when you want to have happiness, you must know how. And the Buddha taught a lot of things how to get this. And this is referred to as ingredients. I use the word ingredients because make it happen. When you cook something, you must put the sauce, ketchup, and this sauce, and that sauce, and it becomes tasty. Similarly with this. Now the first ingredient we need to look at, we need to use is Shraddha. Shraddha in Pali that's Sanskrit, in Pali it is Sattva, and in Sanskrit it is Shraddha. This is a very, very, very vital ingredient to achieve what we have been talking this morning. Shraddha means confidence or faith or belief. But the Shraddha the Buddha taught is very special. It is a Shraddha not based on blind faith. The Buddha didn't say just follow blindly, but with understanding. Today, and of course, even earlier, there are many teachers who say, you just follow me, you don't ask anything. You just say, just do what I say. Don't question, don't ask. Just follow blindly. That is dangerous. And all over the world, you find many leaders, many religious teachers, even so powerful their influence, they make the followers drink poison and do things which you and I won't normally do. But because they don't think, and because they don't understand, and they follow blindly, they go and commit all these things. Very many cases, some few decades ago, there was Reverend Jim Jones in Guyana. Real cases. He made all his followers drink poison and said they can go to heaven if they just drink the poison. And then he died like that. Even today, not so serious, but they do teach all kinds of funny things. Oh, renounce, forget your husband, forget your wife, come and join me, this, that, and the other. Don't just simply blindly follow. The Buddha said, don't follow. Even what I teach, question what I teach. Investigate. Find out for yourself. Experience, experiment these things. So, Shraddha that the Buddha taught is based on not blind faith, but faith based on understanding. Once you have this confidence, there are many things you can achieve. For example, just to illustrate, if you want to climb the mountain and you see the mountain, oh, it is so high, oh, it is so hot, oh, there is no steps. How am I going to climb this mountain and go to the top? If you start with this negative mind, no confidence, oh, I'm too weak, I'm too old, I do not know mountain climbing, you can never climb the mountain. So whatever you do, you must develop this positive mind. Many teachers, many trainers use this point, but they don't say that it is Shraddha, they say positive mental thought. They just say positive mental thought. But actually, the Buddha taught this in a more holistic way, and he said Shraddha. Shraddha. So when you go for other training programs, they talk about positive mental thought, positive thought. This is the root of it. They don't use the Buddha's word, but this is the root of it. So when you want to do something, you invoke your confidence in the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. Once you invoke, you get inspiration, you get courage, you get the confidence to do. Because you believe in the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. We discussed this morning, the Buddha is the greatest teacher. There is no question about it. The Dhamma is akalika. It applies across time and space. Anywhere in the world, it is applied. Anytime in history, it will apply. And the Sangha also be, because this is an order of disciples from the Buddha. So we invoke, that's why in our practice, many practices we have, the first thing we do is we invoke our belief, our faith in the Buddha, the Dhamma and Sangha. When you have Shraddha, you have belief in yourself, you have confidence in yourself, you have faith in yourself, that you can do, that you will do, that you will succeed. But before you can succeed, before you want to succeed, you must have an aspiration. It sounds a big word, aspiration, or expectation. You must have that. You must have an aspiration. You must want to have that goal. If you don't have that aspiration, then there's nothing for you to aim. So you must aim at something. In English it is referred to as aspiration. Now this aspiration, I want to be the best ballerina. I want to be the most successful student. I want to be the top manager in my organization, the best salesman in my organization. You want and you have this aspiration. But aspiration by itself is like a dream. You just dream only. Aspiration must be followed with viraya. Just aspiring, oh, it's like a wish. Just because you wish, it won't happen. You must put energy. Viraya is energy. And this energy is very positive energy. If you don't put in energy, you would not move any forward. So aspiration, you aspire, you wish for something, and you put your energy. The third one is, you must have determination. You must have determination, resolve. And this resolve is not half-hearted resolve. Oh, I will try and do. Maybe I can do. Maybe I'll try a little bit. No! It should be firm. It should be unshakable. It should be very strong. So that whatever obstacle, whatever difficulty, you will still continue. You will still try. Not because it's raining, oh, I cannot go out. Raining, you take an umbrella. So simple. Like that, aspiration must be followed with viraya, energy, positive energy, and then you must have the resolve to continue until you achieve your goal. If you don't have these things, it will be very difficult. So these are some of the main things the Buddha had taught for us in everyday life. In everyday life, you want to be a wonderful wife? Follow this. You want to be a wonderful father? Follow this. In any status in life, this applies. These ingredients of Shraddha, Aditthana, Viraya, and firm resolve is not theory. This is not theory. These are based on actual facts, based on historical facts, based on what actually the Buddha as Prince Siddhartha achieved. When you look at the life of Siddhartha Sakyamuni, you will find these things very evident. So I am not talking about something which is imagined or which just I formulate as a theory, but based on actual fact. Now I'd like to take you quickly on using or focusing on Siddhartha, Prince Siddhartha, as a role model. The life of Siddhartha itself is a Dhamma. Because he lived this life according to what we discussed, he was able to achieve Bodhi. If he did not follow all those things, if he did not apply all those ingredients, he would not have achieved. Now, where and how can we find that insight into how he had been able to achieve Bodhi? First of all, we know that when he was born, from the time he was born, he had a spiritual aspiration. That we all know. We all have aspiration. But that aspiration did not just simply make him the Buddha. And his aspiration, his spiritual impulse, was triggered off by 4 visualizations. The 4 sights are 4 visualizations. The old man, the sick man, the dead corpse, and the samana. The first 3 visualizations gave him an insight into what is dukkha. He realized, in fact, he was shocked. He was traumatized when he saw the old man, the sick man, and the dead corpse. He realized that this is life, that he and all his loved ones will go through this jara marana, these sufferings. And he was living in such a luxurious lifestyle. He never felt any hardship. He never felt any difficulty or sorrow. But this he saw and he was shocked. Now, I just want to share some insights into the life of Siddhartha. In the traditional presentation, normally they say that Siddhartha saw the sights and then for the first time, and then he had the aspiration to go forth to become a samana, and then he left the palace. Siddhartha did not see the old man for the first time. He did not experience old age for the first time. Siddhartha is a bodhisattva. Sakyamuni is a bodhisattva. So he is not an ordinary person. He is a very intelligent, knowledgeable, more than ordinary person. He is 29 years old. When you are young and you are 29, you know your body has changed. He was close to nature. He has seen trees fall down. He has seen flowers wither away. He knows what is aging. He knows what is growing old. His father is 29 years older from the time that he was born till he saw the old man. But for simplicity, when they wrote the life of Siddhartha 500 years ago, after he passed away, for simplicity they just wrote this happened, this happened, this happened. Also the Buddha made it the point not to write too much about his life, but to write about his teachings. To write about his teachings more than about his life. That's why the life of the Buddha or life of Sakyamuni Siddhartha is not very detailed in the historical record. But you must understand and you must appreciate that this is not the first time he saw. But this is the first time he was shocked. This is the first time he was traumatized. Many of you have read about Newton, Isaac Newton, who discovered gravity. Now, gravity has been there. Not that it's the first time that Newton saw gravity. That's not the first time gravity took place. Gravity has always been there. But when he sat under the apple tree and the apple fell, at that moment it struck him. Why is this apple falling and not going up? At that moment, that happens. It is called a stimulus response. In the case of Siddhartha, it's a traumatic stimulus response. When he saw the old man for the first time, it shocked him. That is important to understand. Apples have been falling even before Newton experienced that. Then you have the case of Archimedes. Those who know science, Archimedes discovered specific gravity. The king asked him to please prove that this crown is made of gold and some other things. Although the crown's weight is the same as pure gold, but the king suspected that something is wrong there. And he tried to solve this problem. So one day, he went to bathe in his bathtub. Those days they didn't have shower. No heater, nothing. They bathed in the bathtub. And when he went into the bathtub, there was water overflowed from the bathtub. And Eureka! He said, Eureka! And he ran out naked because he was so excited that he discovered that whatever his body density is the same as the water displaced from the bathtub. From that day onwards, we have discovered specific gravity. Specific gravity is the density based on space and weight. Before that also there was specific gravity. But at that moment, when he was in deep thought and he experienced, it struck him. This is it. There are many people who have seen a dead chicken when they cut the chicken head and the chicken head is moving around with blood and they don't want to eat meat anymore. Even today, they see the flesh of meat hung on the hook, they get so disgusted, they don't want to eat meat. These are traumatic experiences. So what happened actually was Siddhartha experienced a trauma that triggered the response. At the last sight, where he saw a samana, a very serene, calm, contented monk, walking on the track in the countryside, he was drawn, he was attracted to this samana. He said to himself, how come he is so calm, so peaceful, so contented, yet he has nothing? He has nothing, only a begging bowl and just a robe. How is he so serene? This must be the way. I must find out how he is able to be so happy and contented. I have all the riches, I have all the luxuries, but I know that life is going to be not the same forever. And that is what drove him to leave the palace and search for the ultimate answer to end dukkha and find the path to sukha. Time reflecting by himself in the palace, in the garden, in the lakeside, in the room. Even when Yasodhara is beside him, he is physically, body is there, but she knows his mind is somewhere else. His mind is thinking all the time now how to find his way out of dukkha and how to find sukha, eternal bliss, and how to achieve bodhi, which is the answer to this. So, when he had this aspiration, he was already ready to go. But when he saw the samana, the aspiration was gone and he decided to go. Normally, I want to share another insight on the Sakyamuni story. Normally, they say that Sakyamuni left the palace in the middle of the night, even without saying goodbye to Yasodhara and the baby, newborn baby. That is not the character, that is not the personality, that is not the nature of a bodhisattva. A bodhisattva is a supreme being. He does not not have to leave the palace in that way. Second point is, he loved Yasodhara, Yasodhara loved him. They knew each other even as children because they were related. They were first cousins. She is from the neighboring kingdom, Koila family. And they used to, like you come and visit each other, the uncles and cousins meet. Those days also they used to meet when they were young. And they loved each other and he chose her as his wife. After marrying, we know when we marry, our wives know us only too well. They know when we are happy, they know when we are sad, they know when we are angry, they know when we are in a bad mood. So Yasodhara knows Siddhartha is not happy at all, that he is contemplating all the time. And when they discuss and he says, I want to leave and find a way to Sukha and attain Bodhi and find a way to Sukha, Yasodhara said, yes, go. You please go. I know you will never be happy being in the palace. And I don't want you to live this kind of a life. You have a mission. This is an opportunity for you to go forward. The only difference is that normally in India, you leave your home at the fourth stage in your life. The first stage, you're a youngster, you learn everything. Second stage, you get married. Third stage, you have family, look after the family. Fourth stage, you go and renounce. It is quite normal practice to go forward. But here is a young man who is going to be a prince, and not only that, going to be a Raja Chakravarti or Chakravarti Raja, a king of kings, who wants to renounce. That is unique. That is unusual. And Yasodhara says, I want two promises from you. First promise is, I want a baby from you. Because when you leave, I will feel so empty. I will feel so lonely. There will be a void. And at least the baby will make me feel your presence. So please, I want a baby before you leave. Please leave, but I want a baby. Second promise, I want you to leave the day, the night the baby is born. Because I know that if you don't leave on that night, you will get very attached. That is a normal feeling for any father or any mother for a child. They get attached. And when they get attached, then you don't feel like going. I don't want that to happen to you. I don't want you to come to this stage and then, give up your aspiration. So please leave. And this was the understanding. And that is why Siddhartha left the day, the night that the baby was born. So I have spent quite some time and I went deep into the story and tried to be Siddhartha, to be Yasodhara, to be, Suddhodana and everybody else, and brought some very deep insights into the Siddhartha story. The reason why I took this trouble to try and bring to life, as you read the book, you bring to life, it's as though you are alive there. You are seeing and feeling and witnessing. It's because in Taiwan, in Cambodia, in Sri Lanka, in Thailand, a number of other religious people are going around saying to young children, very young children, who do not know anything, who are so influenced by whatever you say, do you love your father? The child will say, yes, of course I love my father. You love your father very much? Yes, I love my father very much. Okay, if you love your father very much and your father leaves you and your mother, how would you feel? Oh, I will be very angry angry with my father. I will never forgive him. I'll be very, 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 very angry. No forgiveness. Then the girl said, this is what Sakyamuni did. He left his wife and son and left. So why are you following Sakyamuni? Follow our religion. Our religion, the leader loves all the children, loves everybody, and will save everybody. What can a child answer? A child can't answer to this. So we need to now present the Siddhartha Sakyamuni story in the true way, so that our children will understand and be able to respond in the right way. Even adults sometimes, without knowledge and without thinking, they also fall into this trap. So I took some trouble because of that, and I thought we must all now prepare ourselves so that this does not happen to our children and to our other Dharmaputris and Dharmaputras. So Sakyamuni left the palace on the day his son was born, and he wished his son, or rather the word is Asirvada, he blessed his son before leaving the palace, and he said, I will find the path to Bodhi and be able to save you and all your loved ones, your mother and all your loved ones from dukkha. After finding the path to sukha, I will come and unravel this. So with that blessing, he left the palace. That is the way we have to see the Sakyamuni going forth to achieve Bodhi. Now, having left the palace and he went in search for Bodhi, the first thing, what did he do? He had the Shraddha that he will be able to achieve Bodhi. He believed in himself. He had the strong Shraddha. If he did not have Shraddha, he would never dare leave the palace. Why should he leave the palace if he is enjoying so much of luxury and so much of pleasure? Because he had Shraddha, he went forward. I know I will succeed, and I am courageous and brave enough to leave the palace. The second point is, as soon as he crossed the Anoma river after riding across the kingdom and other kingdoms, he crossed the Anoma river and went to the other bank. The first thing he did was take his beautiful hair in one hand and his sword in the other hand, and he cut off his beautiful waving hair. And he said, Aditana is no use unless you act upon it. You can have Aditana, but you must act on it. Aspiration by itself is no use. It's like a dream, as we said earlier on. So he acted on it. He cut his hair, he shaved his eyebrows, then he put on his robe, which Yasodhara Devi had already prearranged and gave to him before he departed. With her blessings, he departed. That is important in terms of Aditana. And you must remember that this is how Siddhartha himself, in a role model, the best role model for success, well-being and happiness is Siddhartha. He himself did these things. Then when he went in search for masters in the forest, he studied under many great teachers during his time. And he excelled and he perfected until his two very principal teachers, Alara Kalama and Ramaputra, said, we have nothing more to teach you. This is all we can teach. And he realized that he cannot depend on his teachers alone, and he must still continue to go on searching for Bodhi. Normally, you and I would have been very, very, very happy to attain that level. He is already now a Muni, a sage, and become an Arahant. But his goal is, his adipana is to find Bodhi, to attain Bodhi. And he did not want to be resting until he attained Bodhi. So his Raddha said, no, I must go on some more. I must keep on trying until I attain Bodhi. What did he do? He tried so many experiments until he also came across an experiment where they had the practice of extreme asceticism, self-mortification. You torture your body and you make all kinds of penance for your body until you are not able to stand anymore, because that was one tradition. And he followed that tradition until he became just mere skin and bones. And one day he collapsed at the bank of the Niranjana river and nearly drowned because he was no more strength to even crawl to safety. And as he sat down, he heard some music. And the musician was playing an instrument, a string instrument, while he was ferried by a boatman across the river. The sound of the music was not very pleasant because the strings were very loose and it is going. It's not music. Then the musician tightened the string very tight. Then he played the music again, and this time it was also not music. And suddenly the string burst. Siddhartha Sakyamuni observed this. He observed this. If the string is loose, no good music. If the string is tight, also no good music. The middle path. I should not follow this self-mortification. I should take the middle path. I must take care of my body. We have been talking about body. I must take care of my body so that my body is strong. And then I can aspire. Also, when he reflected and when he thought and he contemplated at this very critical moment, he realized that he has to depend on himself. He cannot depend on any teacher. He must find Bodhi or realize Bodhi through his self-effort, through his self-reliance, and no other way. So he himself, Sakyamuni himself, followed self-reliance and self-effort. And he went on practicing on his own this time. And he realized that he must now depend on perfecting his mind. He has gone through all the tests, but the mind still little bit kilesa, little bit more defilement. Yes, a little bit, even that he must conquer or remove. So on his own, he started meditating and perfecting meditation again and again and again. And finally, he says, okay, now, I must remove even the little bit kilesa. And so he went to Gaya, Buddha Gaya. And he sat under the oak tree. What did he say? I will not get up from the foot of this Bodhi tree until I attain Bodhi. Even if my body was to disintegrate, I will not get up. That was the resolution. That was the resolve, unshakable. Siddhartha Sakyamuni Siddhartha went through this, and because of his resolve, he was able to face Mara. Mara is not a person. Mara is a symbolism, a metaphor for all the negative influences that come from outside and within ourselves and take us away from the right path. And this is how Siddhartha was able to even overcome that little bit of disturbance. And then he attained enlightenment. And he smiled. And he was able to unravel the Dhamma. This Dhamma he unraveled. So in the Sakyamuni story itself, life story itself, you find what we discussed today. Every of the things that we discussed is based on actual historical fact. So if you're looking for a role model, don't look for anywhere else. He attained Bodhi. We are not asking you to attain Bodhi. What we are asking you to is attain very much simpler things. We want our children to do well in their exams, not become a Buddha. We want you to be a successful career person. We want you to be a happy father, a happy mother, happy family. These are very mundane compared to what Sakyamuni achieved. If Sakyamuni followed this formula, this guide, and attained Bodhi, if you follow this guide, it is so much simpler and so much easier to achieve your own goal or objectives in life. So one of the important lessons we learn from Sakyamuni's own personal experience and role is the lesson of the middle path, the middle way. And we had earlier on in the morning and afternoon also see the yin and yang diagram. There must be a balance in your life. In whatever you do, always find a balance. Don't go to the extreme. And this balance is what is lacking in the world today. If you look at the world all around, there is no balance. So everything has gone topsy-turvy. So we have an answer. And the answer is to follow the middle path. Now, having discussed all of this, we find that even after he attained enlightenment, he was doubting. The Buddha doubted whether he can preach the Dhamma, teach the people the Dhamma, because he was not sure that people will understand and follow. Until his Shraddha said, yes, I will go out and spread the Dhamma. At least a few people will understand, practice and benefit from the Dhamma. So he left Gaya and went all across northeastern India on foot, from village to village, from town to town, from country to country, thousands of miles, and spread the Dhamma. Because he spread the Dhamma, you and I are very fortunate to be able to learn the Dhamma and practice the Dhamma. That is the Shraddha, that is what Sakyamuni had given to us in terms of our own benefits, because his own purpose was to help humankind to be able to face dukkha and attain sukha, or find the path to sukha. Now, having understood all of this, we need to now see some of the methods and techniques that we can use today in everyday life how to use all that we discuss. What techniques can we use to apply the teachings of the Buddha in our own aspirations, our own development, and our own success, well-being, and happiness. The first thing we can immediately use, and which is being used by other people, although they don't ascribe, they don't credit the Buddha, is the visualization technique. The visualization technique is very popular today. Many trainers of sports, particularly, many trainers of personal self-development use this visualization technique. But where do you find the origin of this visualization technique? The origin is when Sakyamuni visualized old age. When the visions of old age, sickness, and death kept bombarding on his mind, kept constantly coming out in his mind, and made him contemplate that this is the reality of life, and you have to find a way to overcome. That was the visualization technique. And when he saw the samana, that was the way out of dukkha and to find a way to sukha. So this visualization technique which the Buddha used, Sakyamuni used, during his own lifetime, we have to apply our daily life. How do we apply this? First thing is, we train ourselves and we also train our children. Every night and every morning, just 1 minute or 5 minutes, just close the eyes and visualize. If we train our children to visualize themselves with a motor hat and a scroll and a graduate gown, they will keep on aspiring to get this goal. We must use this technique. If you want to be very successful in anything that you want to be, we have to visualize. Visualize first. What is it that you want? You want to be successful in your career, you have to visualize the goal. Once you visualize, then you make effort to actualize. If you don't visualize, if you don't have an aspiration, there is nothing for you to aim. Nothing to aim. So you also will just drift like the water in the stream. No aim, no purpose, no goal. But visualization will make you, and every day if you do it and put the virya, put the resolute effort, put the result, you will attain it. So it's a very simple technique which we must put into practice in the home. And I have done this in many places. Just train your children 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes every day. Very simple. The other one is to actualize excellence. We have recognized, we have understood that each of our children and we ourselves have got talents and skills. But these talents and skills can be enhanced, can come up to excellence. If you can bring up to excellence, that is a great achievement. If you are an artist, you must excel in whatever you draw. If you are a singer, excel in whatever you sing. That will give you the drive to reach the optimum. And the exercise is very, very simple, very effective. Very effective. We don't have the posters, but we will produce these posters and we will share with you. You can pin these posters up for yourself and for your children and for your loved ones, even if not your children, but in your extended family. We give them these guidelines. Have a poster and make them either in the morning or in the night, or both in the morning and night preferably, to recite, to pledge, to bring their mind, just be calm for a while, not 1 hour, just a couple of minutes, and pledge to themselves, make the resolution themselves. I pledge and pledge every day to develop their Shraddha. The first step is they must develop their Shraddha. It is, we have noticed, we have recognized, we have understood, we have learned that Shraddha is the driving force that make you go forward and achieve what you want to achieve. But Shraddha you cannot buy from a shop. You cannot order from a shop, this Shraddha. You have to develop it from within yourself. The parents can't give Shraddha to the children. They can influence the children by their own Shraddha, but the children must also develop their own Shraddha. And the best technique, and very simple, doesn't cost much, it doesn't take much time, is the daily Shraddha affirmation. You affirm your Shraddha. And what you do is, either in front of the altar, or you even have a poster of the Buddha, and you pledge. Bring your mind to focus on the Buddha. Reflect on all the things that we have discussed today in terms of how we succeeded, and you pledge to yourself an enlightened and compassionate Buddha. I pledge to follow with unwavering determination the sublime Dhamma you have equipped to humankind. As I grow up in life, I will progressively strengthen my Shraddha in the three Ratana, the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. I will always show my profound love for my most beloved parents. I will pay due respect to my teachers and elders. I will extend freely, most noble teacher, my metta to all beings. I will forever aspire first to achieve personal self-development and progress as I strive earnestly to be worthy example of your fragrant personality and eternal Dhamma. So this child and you yourself, individually or even collectively, if you can do it collectively in your house, it will be a wonderful daily practice to strengthen your Shraddha in the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. For children, it is a wonderful way to bring them up, to honor, to respect their parents and the teachers. Once this is established, this child will then grow up to follow the teachings of the Buddha, the Dhamma, and Sangha. And when he follows all these teachings, all these practices, you can expect him to be successful, and you can expect him to be well, you can expect him to be happy. The reason why we do this practice is because even modern science, modern research have proven this is how the mind works. If you keep on telling your mind these pledges, the mind will actualize. The mind will want to actualize. Actualize means make it real, make it happen. If you don't do it, the mind will not go in that direction, and you would not find it easy to achieve. So these practices we have to develop ideally from small. When the child is small, if you do these practices, automatically the child learns. But even if the child is grown up, and even for you as adults, this same effect will take place. You will find the benefits. Now, we also recognize that each of us and our children have got skills and talents. They vary from child to child, they vary from person to person. But more important than knowing that is how to excel, how to bring to the optimum level each of these skills and talents. And that is a technique we refer to as actualizing excellence. In anything that you do and in everything that you do, you can excel. And you can excel by trying to follow or by following this particular pledge again every morning and every night before you go to bed. When you go to bed with these thoughts, these aspirations, these pledges, these auto-suggestions, in psychology it is referred as auto-suggestions. You suggest to your mind and your mind will actualize. The Buddha had discovered this. Trainers like Napoleon Hill come out with statements like, what your mind conceives, you can achieve. They copy, but they never tell it is from the Buddha. They copy all this from the Buddha. So, in the drill or technique of self-actualization, again, we make the pledge. Bring the mind to focus on the Buddha and pledge to yourself that I pledge to live my life to the fullest potential by utilizing my innate genius. Each one has got some genius, some ability, some potential, some skills and talents. Skills, creative abilities, talents, knowledge, and above all, the unlimited powers of the mind. The mind has got unlimited powers. Modern psychologists, modern scientists say that we are only using a small fraction of the mind. The Buddha had already discovered the power of the mind. The mind is so powerful that you can develop it to much higher levels. We have not developed our minds to the highest level. There are many possibilities available to us, provided we put our mind to it and we make it happen. I fully commit myself to view life realistically and to pursue it with a sense of purpose and accomplishment. This I will realize through the cultivation of a positive mental culture. In fact, we must add the word self. Positive mental self-culture. Nobody is going to develop it. You have to develop it yourself. As extolled by the most enlightened and compassionate teacher, the Buddha, you draw inspiration from the Sakyamuni. Then, depending on what you are, if you are a father, you say the way your father would say. If you are a mother, the way the mother, or if you are a child, you say the way the child should say. My concern and role in life is that of being a devoted family member. As a son, you say as a son. As a daughter, brother, sister, father, mother, whichever applies. You can make that pledge. Accordingly, I will constantly show my love and responsibility towards my family and strive to make each day more joyful for them and myself. You pledge that. You owe it to them. As a loving and caring family member, I promise to contribute my time and energy for the enhancement of my family's progress and happiness. I firmly resolve to develop myself fully by following the sublime Dhamma of cultivating wholesome human values and face all challenges and opportunities in life with a positive mind. Pledge this and practice pledging this every day, and you would be able to realize greater potentials, greater heights of achievements in whatever you endeavor. Doesn't matter what you endeavor in. Even if you want to be very good in sports, this is the way to do it. We have discussed a lot of things together today. We have shared a lot of things together. But the most important thing is to put it into practice. Just knowing about these things is not going to bring any benefits or any change. You should now go back, share this knowledge, share these techniques, share these wonderful methods of self-improvement, self-development, of success, of happiness, of well-being with your immediate family, with your neighbors, with your friends, with anybody you can. And you will benefit from it, and they will also benefit. And this is our message to you. The other thing is, I want you to spend some time, just sit down quietly and reflect for a while. This is something that we need to also develop as Dhammaputras and Dhammaputris. Today, we are very fortunate that we are born as human beings. We must be grateful that we are so fortunate to be human beings. And there is so much of joy, there is so much of potential, there is so much of possibilities that we can achieve as human beings to be happy, successful, and well. We have to be grateful to our parents who brought us up in this wonderful way and gave us an opportunity to be what we are. If not for what they have done, if not for their sacrifices, maybe our lives won't be so wonderful as it is. We have been fortunate to have the opportunity to learn and benefit from the Dhamma. Those who have organized this function and organized this organization, Mr. Chen and all his other wonderful Dhammaputras and Dhammaputris who have made this kind of center possible for the benefit of all other Dhammaputras and Dhammaputris, and those who are not yet Dhammaputras and Dhammaputris. We feel grateful to you for all your effort and all your energy and the time that you have given. May you attain Nibbana. May you be blessed for all this wonderful effort. And may you redouble your energy, redouble your commitment, redouble your inspiration, and even do bigger things in years to come. May you all join together and help in whatever possible way out of gratitude for the wonderful things that have been provided to you. May you be well and happy. May your parents be well and happy. May your children be well and happy. May all your loved ones be well and happy. May all living beings will be well and happy. Sukhi Hotu. Usually what happens is, we talk, Professor talk, I talk, we didn't give chance for you to talk or ask questions. And there is no time. But today, we are giving you time to ask questions. You want to make any comments, you can make any comments. You want to make any affirmation, you want to make any resolve. It is a joy for us to listen to your affirmation, to your resolve, and your commitment. Because there is joy. There is great joy in living the Dhamma. There is great benefit to gain from practicing the Dhamma. There is great joy in spreading the Dhamma. There is no greater joy than letting others benefit from the Dhamma. This is the teachings of the Buddha. The greatest joy, the greatest gift is the gift of the Dhamma. So please feel free, we are a family. As far as I am concerned, we are all one big family. And feel like family, live like family, and do everything together like family. Please ask anything or make any comments you like. How to live a happy married life. That is going to mean I have to come back again. It is going to be 4 sessions. So we have to start from another day. Today is not possible in one sentence or the other. We discussed this in an earlier program in Taipei. And that took 4 sessions. But it is there. In written form, it is in this book. All the details are here. Thank you for asking the question. So a quick reply is bring the Dhamma, bring the understanding of the Dhamma and apply the Dhamma to not only how to have a better relation with your other half, but your relationship with your own self. Your own self. You have to start with your own self. We don't understand ourselves sometimes. Sometimes we do things we regret. Sometimes we do things we do not mean. Sometimes we say things and we do not know how to put it back. Because the word has already left the mouth. Cannot put it back. But if we understand ourselves, if we are mindful, if we are heedful, if we follow the Dhamma, we won't say some things we don't mean. And we will be thinking in the right way. Because the Dhamma and the development of your mind through the understanding of Dhamma makes sure that your thoughts, your speech, and your actions are not going to be regretful. It will be positive. So you start there. Once you start there, then the second stage only you can enter. Without understanding the first stage, you are going to have a lot of problems. Second stage is you must recognize that you are dealing with a entirely different personality. If I am the husband or boyfriend, I must recognize that my girlfriend or my wife is completely a different person and a completely different personality. I must recognize that first. If I don't recognize that first, if I want her to be like me, then we are going to have problems. Very obvious problems. From understanding from that, we must understand that we are going into a partnership. So we went through details of these things. If I go on like this, maybe tonight you have to provide dinner for you to stay back and listen. But we will have this very good question another time, not today. Only a quick response to that. Basic steps. But we will go into details another time. Mr. Chen, okay? Another time we organize how to live a married life, happy married life, and how to bring a wholesome family, wholesome, happy family. This is a very, very important question. Very important question because all over the world they have this problem, particularly in modern lifestyle. Big problem. Happy married life and family is a big, big problem, and even in Taiwan it's a big problem. In Japan it's a big problem. All over the world. So we will try and translate this book into Mandarin and other languages, and hopefully This will make a big contribution to the whole world, not just Dhammaputras and Dhammaputris, but this is the answer to the society today. Society is not a society as it used to be. It is in turmoil. It is completely topsy-turvy. And we are so frightened. We do not know what's going to happen tomorrow because everything is going so crazy. Everything is going so crazy today. This program was in a rush, and Dhammaputri Linda Cheng, every day, email, rush. So a little bit rushed for this program. But we are going to produce all these things, and we want to spread it all over. What we want from you is to practice and also spread wherever you can spread. We will give you all these things. Just give a little bit more time because we want to make it even better. Small mistakes here and there we want to improve, and we will send it to you. We will print these posters, we make videotapes, and those of you who want to sponsor can make some more videotapes and send it to other people. So we can multiply. We want to multiply. Not just one person doing the whole thing. We want to bring as many people to be active and contribute. So that if each one of you makes small contribution, like giving the books to your neighbors, or videotape to your neighbors, or reproducing, or organizing in your own way. Now you have heard me talk. Next time, you talk and tell what it is. You run the program. That is what I want. I cannot come here every day, but I want you all to run the program. I will train. I will help. I want you all to then be on your own, and then we can grow like the Bodhi tree with lot of branches, lot of leaves, and lot of beautiful seeds.